All right, guys, welcome back. Let's continue. So this time around, we'll be looking at conversions and calculations involving units of volume. So what will that consist of? Right. So let's get a bit of background info. So I'm saying here, volume is the three-dimensional space occupied by a gas, can be a liquid or a solid substance. Then also, the word capacity refers to volume as well. Then imperial units of volume, that is your gallons, pints, fluid ounces, and quarts. All right, so again, a lot of information given to you, but as I've noted before, you don't have to memorize this. Just to run through a few, when we convert from metric to imperial, for example, 1 liter equals to 1,7598 UK pints. Then from imperial to metric, right, 1 UK pint equals to 0.5682 liters. Then I thought, just for interest's sake, I include a little note for you here. It says both UK and the US use imperial units of volume. Examples, your pints, gallons, etc. It is therefore important to specify the country, whether it's the UK or US, as the conversion rate factors differ. Okay, so let us quickly look at some examples. So I'm saying here, if you are given one imperial unit equals to multiple metric units. For example, we will give the following to you. We'll say 1 UK pint equals to 0.5682 liters. Then, so when we convert from metric to imperial, we will divide by the rate. Let's quickly look at a simple example here. So I'm asking, how many UK pints in 3.6 liters? So if you look, 3.6 liters represent the metric system. Therefore, now I will have to divide. So if I look at my answer, I'll say 3.6 divided by 0.5682, and that will give us an answer of 6.34 pint. All right, then let's do another one. In this time around, if it's from imperial to metric, right, we will multiply by the rate. Let's look at an example. So I'm saying here, how many liters in 8.5 pints? Remember now, pints is given, so that's your imperial. You must now convert to metric. So therefore, I will multiply by the rate. So the rate here was given as 0.5682. So I take the 8.5, I multiply by the rate of 0.5682. Your answer in this case is 4.83 liters. Hope so far everything is making sense. Let's familiarize ourselves with a few more examples. In this case, if you are giving a metric unit equals to multiple imperial units, so what will be present to you? For example, I say 1 liter equals 1.7598 pints. Example 1, before we get there, imperial to metric, we will divide by the rate. So what do I mean by that? If you look at the following example, I'm asking here, how many liters in 50.3 pints? Right? We said pints was given, that's your imperial. We must move on to metric, so therefore I will divide by the rate. I'm taking the 50.3 and I divide it by the 1.7598. That gives us an answer of 28.5 liters. Then, if we work now from metric to imperial, we will multiply by the rate. Let's look at an example. I'm saying here, how many UK pints in 7.9 liters? So if you look at this, the metric was given, right? The 7.9 liters. Therefore, I'll take the 7.9 and I multiply, as indicated here, multiply by the rate of 1.7598, and that will give us an answer of 13.90 pints. Okay, clear? There we go. Again, I've explained that. And now let's quickly put ourselves to the test. Question number 1. Convert the following using the conversion rates alongside. So what is the question? I'm saying here, 70 US quarts to liters using the conversion 1 liter equals to 1.0566 quarts. So what will happen now? I'll take my 70, and in this case, I will divide that by 1.0566. So when I type that in on my calculator, 70 divided by 1.0566, that should give us an answer of 66.25 liters. All right, so can you see? In this case, the quarts was given to us. We converted from imperial to metric. Let's look at another example. This time around, I'm saying 45 liters to UK gallons. And in this case, 1 liter equals to 0,2199 UK gallons. All right, so in this case, what will happen now? I'll take my 45 liters and I will multiply that by the conversion factor here of 0,2199. When I punch that in on my calculator, 45 multiplied by 0.2199. Simplify, so that will give us an answer of 9,8955. And remember now, it must be in gallons. All right, so I hope so far everything is making perfect sense. Okay, so let's see what is up next. Now we'll be moving on to our section on conversions and calculation involving units of temperature. Okay, so let's quickly go through and get some background information. So I'm saying here that temperature is the measurement of how hot or how cold a substance or an object is. Right? And we already alluded on earlier that the imperial unit for temperature is degrees Fahrenheit. All right, guys, so when we want to calculate degrees Celsius, we say degrees Fahrenheit minus 32 degrees divided by 1,8. And then when we calculate degrees Fahrenheit, we take the formula, or we say 1,8 multiplied by degrees Celsius plus 32. Now let's quickly put this into context, right? So let's look at example number 1. In example number 1, we have 23 degrees Celsius, and we must convert that to degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, and our formula that's given to us, it says degrees Fahrenheit equals 1,8 multiplied by degrees Celsius plus 32. So like I've always believed, when we have a formula, we always follow 4 steps. Step number 1, you write down your formula. Step number 2, you substitute into the formula and make sure you substitute the correct values. Step number 3, we simplify, and then step number 4, we write our final answer in its simplest form with the correct rounding off, basically according to what the instruction is saying to us. All right, now let's put that into practice. So here, degrees Fahrenheit equals to 1,8 multiply by degrees Celsius. So you can see here, the formula is asking of us degrees Celsius. So I go to my question, it says convert 23 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to substitute that into my formula. That's 23, right? Plus 32. So my step number 2 is where I substitute. Okay, so now step 3, I'm going to simplify by typing in what I see currently on my screen. So 1.8 multiplied by 23 equals, so if you simplify this, and remember, Botman says bracket first, you now should have an answer of 41,4. Right, and then I'm going to add this 41,4 to my 32. So therefore, plus 32 equals, that should give you an answer now of 73,4. All right, so I hope that makes sense. Step 1, formula. Step number 2, substitute into your formula. Step number 3, you simplify. And step number 4, write down your final answer in its simplest form. Let's see if we can apply that. And I want you there at home to do the same. Right? Write down and follow the steps. Let's look at our second example. In this case, we are saying convert 410 degrees Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. Okay, now let's look at the formula that's given to us. It says you may use the formula degrees Celsius equals to degrees Fahrenheit minus 32 degrees in bracket divided by 1,8. So step 1, that's our formula. Step number 2, let's substitute into our formula by saying what is our degrees Fahrenheit? It's given to us there. It says 410 degrees Fahrenheit. So that will become 410 minus 32, and I close my bracket, divided by 1,8. All right, so therefore I'm going to type in now 410 minus 32. So when I simplify 410 minus 32, I get an answer of 378. So that 378 I'm going to divide by 1,8. So 378 divided by 1.8 give us an answer of 210. And remember, we're calculating degrees Celsius. All right, so I hope that makes sense. Remember, learners, you are not supposed to memorize this formula. We will give it to you. All right, we have come to the end of our lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope and believe you've learned something today. And yes, I'm looking forward to next time. Take care. See you soon.